Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks very much for coming along tonight. My name's Tony Reid, I'm Swinburne's registrar, and this is one of our great nights where we get to see a whole lot of the students and also the family and connections from the schools and so forth here. And it's a very informal ceremony, so hopefully we'll get through tonight's events quite quickly. We're hoping about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then afterwards there'll be drinks outside again. So let me just start off by saying, as a mark of respect to Australia's Indigenous people, Swinburne University of Technology acknowledges the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of the land where we now meet to conduct this ceremony. Now this year there's over 160 scholarships valued at over $2 million that are being awarded to students commencing their studies at Swinburne University. And we've got about 100 of those students turning up this evening to receive their awards. We would very much like to acknowledge the support of the scholarship donors who enable this to take place and give each of these students the best possible opportunity to succeed in their studies. I'd also like to thank the many secondary school principals and officials for attending this evening to witness their former students receive a Vice-Chancellor's and Dean's scholarships. We realise the significance for you, your school community, to have a former student receive such a scholarship. On behalf of the Vice-Chancellor of Swinburne University, Professor Linda Christensen, I'd like to extend her apologies for not being able to be with us this evening. Professor Janelle Kidd, Senior Deputy Vice-Chancellor and Provost of Swinburne University, will deliver the opening speech and present the scholarships on behalf of the Vice-Chancellor. Janelle is joined this evening by a number of Swinburne staff on stage. Also joining us are the donors of several scholarships being presented tonight, and I'd just like to identify them here. So we've got Carolyn Muckton from the Philanthropy Development Manager of Equity Trustees, Richard Simpson from the Jollymont Foundation, Dr. Kath Watson, a former Swinburne University Council member and founder of the Kath Watson Foundation, Michael Langhammer and Jill Langhammer from the Apollo Fund, and Richard Davies, Chairman, Vocational Committee, Rotary Club of Camberwell. Now, just before we start proceedings, just one housekeeping announcement. In case of emergency, the exit doors are located to my right and to my left, okay? So hopefully we won't go there, but we should be right. I'd now like to invite Professor Kidd to deliver the opening address.
Thank you very much, Tony. And before I start tonight, I'd also like to acknowledge the First People of the land on which we meet today and their elders past and present. So welcome to the students, the scholarship recipients tonight, also to our distinguished guests, to the family and friends and support network of the recipients here tonight, and a warm welcome also to my Swinburne colleagues that are here as well. So welcome one and all. So it's very inspiring to see this group of talented young people here to receive their scholarships. Securing a scholarship, there aren't really that many scholarships in the university system, so it's quite an achievement to be the recipient of one of these scholarships. But also we recognise the tremendous difference to the lives that these scholarships make to our students. It not only helps them to achieve their full potential, but for some, a university education would not be possible without some form of assistance. And these scholarships go a long way in providing that much needed support. So tonight, there are a range of scholarships being presented, including scholarships designed to recognise academic excellence, right through to scholarships that are awarded to assist students who face adversity while pursuing their studies, and these scholarships are aimed to help those students. The academic excellence scholarships, among them is included the Vice-Chancellor Scholarship. Now here at Swinburne, those scholarships are for students who have achieved an academic entry score of at least 95. For those of you who are receiving these scholarships tonight, you are being recognised for your outstanding educational accomplishment. But all students who are here are receiving a scholarship today that recognises either your ability or your future potential. So the presentation of these scholarships is a celebration of the success you have already achieved, as well as your remarkable potential. At Swinburne, we have a strong history of providing quality, career-orientated education, and we strive for excellence in science, technology, design, business and innovation. Swinburne is ranked in the top 400 universities of the world by the Academic Ranking of World Universities, and third in Victoria. Now, while we use that ranking and we say top 400, it can sound like that's not very much. There are between 14 and 16,000 universities in the world, so to be in the top 400 is a significant achievement. We aspire to great outcomes, not only in the rankings, but also in our impact on the world. So our university ranks among the top 100 in the world in the field of physics, and an overall placing of the top 3% of universities in the world, and it's underpinned by our innovative approach to research and quality education. The government regularly assesses universities for their excellence in research, and Swinburne University ranks as the best university in the country for astronomical and space sciences and maritime engineering, and world leading in areas of psychology, communication and media studies, materials engineering, computer software, physical chemistry and optical physics. So we continue to strive for success and achieve excellence in the pursuit of new ideas and new discoveries in all our areas. Whether you dream of making a difference in industry, undertaking a pioneering research, or dedicating your talents to serve the community, there is an opportunity to make your goals a reality. The academic and research staff whose works give us the rankings stated that I just shared with you, all started their careers like you, at one stage as a student. So at Swinburne, we've integrated a huge range of opportunities for our students to embrace diverse and enriching experiences as part of their educational journey, such as industry-based learning, as well as international exchange, and also the opportunity to be involved in research projects and research partnerships. This means that the skills our students gain are the skills they can use in their careers and as part of lifelong learning. So I'd like to wish each one of our scholarship holders here tonight every success in their higher education journey and your future careers. And I really hope that your time at Swinburne will see you grow not just as a scholar, but also as a person and as a leader, so that the opportunities that come your way have the potential to transform your life and the lives of others. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Michelle McGregor-Owen. I'm the Director of Advancement. It's my great pleasure to be the announcer of the donor-funded scholarships this evening. A number of scholarships have been made available to students of Swinburne University through the generosity of private benefactors. We are very fortunate to have a number of them here this evening to present their scholarships. I'd like to welcome Ms Carolyn Muckton, Philanthropy Development Manager, Equity Trustees, to award the 2014 recipients of the Sir Reginald Ansett Scholarships. The Sir Reginald Ansett Scholarship for Aviation was established by the RM Ansett Trust to assist Swinburne students to realise their passion for an aviation career. The RM Ansett Trust is managed by Equity Trustees. Sir Reginald Ansett was a firm believer in providing young Australians with opportunities to succeed, and this scholarship commemorates the contribution of Sir Reginald Ansett to aviation in Australia. Perhaps a little-known fact is that Sir Reginald in fact studied at Swinburne in the late 1920s to be a sewing machine mechanic. The scholarship is valued at $10,000 per year for a period of 3 years to a domestic Year 12 student who have been accepted into a full-time aviation degree program here at Swinburne. Ms Muckton, I have the pleasure to present to you the student who has been awarded the 2014 Sir Reginald Ansett Scholarship for Aviation, Samuel Ibrahim. Ms Muckton, if you'd like to stay with us, we've got one more to go. Very generous Sir Reginald was. Sir Reginald Ansett Memorial Scholarship is offered to business students, enabling them to realise their passion for a business career and full academic potential. This scholarship is valued at $1,500 per annum for 3 years. The student who has been awarded this scholarship is Mubaraka Amini. Thank you, Ms Muckton. I'd now like to welcome Mr Richard Simpson to award the 2014 recipient of the Rosemary Simpson Scholarship. The Rosemary Simpson Scholarship was established by the Simpson family to support commencing undergraduate students from rural and regional areas who, under normal circumstances, may not be able to undertake or complete a university education. The scholarship is valued at $7,500 per year for the duration of their study, up to a period of 5 years. Mr Simpson, I have the honour to present to you the student who has been awarded the 2014 Rosemary Simpson Scholarship, Sam Groves. Sam is also the recipient of a number of other scholarships, including Dean's Scholarship for Engineering. Thank you, Mr Simpson. I'd like to welcome, Kath, would you like to stand or would you like to stay seated? Kath, unfortunately your recipient is unable to be here, but I'd still like to read the award if that's okay. Dr Kath Watson, former Swinburne Council member and founder of the Kath Watson Scholarship for Women. We're very proud to award tonight the scholarship to Farah Fariq, who was unable to join us this evening. The scholarship is available to women undertaking a full-time vocational or higher education program at Swinburne. It's valued at $2,000 per annum for the duration of study, up to 5 years. Thank you so much for your support, Dr Watson. I'd now like to welcome Mrs Gillian Langhammer to award the inaugural recipient of the Apollo Fund Scholarship, First in Family. The Apollo Fund was established by Michael and Jill Langhammer and their family to give back to Swinburne for the opportunity that Swinburne provided to Michael as a student here. Michael is a Swinburne business alumnus, having completed his degree in accounting in 1987. The scholarship is valued at $7,500 per annum for 3 years and is awarded to commencing business students who are first in family to attend university. Mrs Langhammer, I have the honour to present to you the student who has been awarded the inaugural 2014 Apollo Fund First in Family Scholarship, Shannon Nguyen. Thank you, Mrs Langhammer. I'd like to welcome Mr Robert Davies, who represents the Rotary Club of Camberwell, to award the 2013 recipient of the inaugural Swinburne Camberwell Rotary Community Service Award. Should that have said 14? My apologies. 2014. Valued at $2,000, the award recognises exemplary humanitarian service, personal volunteer efforts and active involvement in helping others by an individual with links to Swinburne and the local community. Mr Davies, I have the honour to present to you the recipient of the Swinburne Camberwell Rotary Community Service Award, Karuna Oya Santosa. Now that was the 2013 award, sorry. So the awards are now open for 2014 nominations. So thank you very much, Mr. Davies. I'd now like to invite Professor Kidd to present the following donor-funded scholarships from the George Alexander Foundation. They were unable to be with us this evening. The George Alexander Foundation has supported Swinburne students since 2007. Mr. George Alexander was a man of vision and generosity. His life story is one of achievement in the face of great odds. The George Alexander Foundation was established in 1972 as a way of giving back to the community and sharing his wealth. In line with George's great interests, the Foundation's main focus is on assisting talented young people, especially those from rural and regional areas, to fulfil their educational goals and reach their potential. The George Alexander Scholarships are open to Year 12 school leavers who have been accepted into a full-time degree program at Swinburne. 5 scholarships, each valued at $7,500 per annum for up to 3 years, and a bursary valued at $2,250 have been awarded in 2014. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the George Alexander Foundation Scholarships. Hayley Bennett. I present to you, Professor Kidd, Joshua Galbraith. Kit Henselite. Professor Kidd, I present to you Kit Henselite. Sorry, I was looking for Joshua. Professor Kidd, I present to you, Rachel. Sorry, I present to you Rachel Morrow. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you Joshua Saunders. We're very pleased to announce that the George Alexander Foundation has recently renewed its commitment to the university and its scholarship program for a further 3 years. Thank you. Professor Kidd, the Pratt Foundation Scholarship is available to business students who show a passion for developing their career by assisting them to reach their full academic potential. Richard Pratt was Swinburne's inaugural Chancellor. The scholarship is valued at $2,000 and the award goes to Vivian DiCera. Professor Kidd, each year the Centre for Social Impact awards a number of scholarships to students deemed most likely to emerge from the Graduate Certificate in Social Impact to lead organisations with social purpose and create social value across sectors. The Centre for Social Impact is grateful to its 2014 scholarship donors, the Commonwealth Bank and AMP. The scholarship provides a partial exemption from tuition fees for the Graduate Certificate in Social Impact. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the Centre for Social Impact scholarships. Marie Baird. Professor Kidd, I present to you Joel Cohen. Professor Kidd, I present to you Anthony Michalski. I would now like Professor Kidd will present the Swinburne Alumni Travel Scholarship for 2014. The Swinburne Alumni Travel Scholarship, valued at $2,000, is funded through the generous donations of many Swinburne alumni to the Swinburne Annual Appeal. The scholarship is available to recent Swinburne graduates under 30 years of age to enable them to attend an international conference to engage on a global scale in a key research field. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the 2014 recipient of the Swinburne Alumni Travel Scholarship, Lisbeth Rodriguez Ayala. Professor Kidd, that concludes the presentation of the donor-funded scholarships this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. My name's Andrew Dempster. I'm the Head of Corporate Government Affairs, and I'd like to present to you, Professor Kidd, the recipients of the 2014 Swinburne Scholarships. Swinburne University offers Vice-Chancellor's scholarships in degree programs across all faculties to students who display academic excellence in their Year 12 studies and achieve an equivalent ATAR of 95 or above. The recipients of these scholarships are exempt from paying tuition fees for the duration of their study program. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the Vice-Chancellor's scholarships in 2014. For the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship, Arts and Social Sciences, Hannah Bennett. Claire Rockelmeyer. Jana Slavakova. For the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship Business, Nancine Acheta. For the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship Design, Drew Collins. And Drew is also the recipient of a residential scholarship. Joe Idelson. Oliver Eklund. James Robinson. Lois Virgil. Now for the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship, Engineering, Molly Ford. Alexander Yellow. Natalie Coram. Samuel Robertson. Jainam Shet. Dennis Ciaro. Matthew Simmons. And Michael Stepmans. Now for the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship, Information Technology, Jordan Jansen. And Louis Vatke. Now for the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship, Science, Monica Janinski. Professor Kidd, that concludes the presentation of the Vice-Chancellor Scholarships this evening. Swinburne University also offers the Dean's Scholarships in degree programs across all faculties to students who display academic excellence in their Year 12 studies and achieve an equivalent ATAR of 85 or above. The benefits of these scholarships vary from a cash payment of $2,000 per year to full or partial exemption from tuition fees for the duration of the study program. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the Dean's Scholarships for 2014. For the Dean's Scholarship, Arts and Social Sciences, Aziza Mohammed. For the Dean's Scholarship, Business, Sally Ann Roderick. For the Dean's Scholarship, Design, wait for it, Ella Fenton. Molly James. And Brooke Jeffrey. Now for the Dean's Scholarship, Engineering, Glenn Banfield. Perrin Bosley. Stuart Boyd. Gwenda Chan. Cornelia Chong. James Cunningham. Andre Dana. Samuel de Souza. Scott Garton. Jacob Harris. Liam Kelly. Jared Klein. James Marlin. Jayden Needs. Sean Nelson. Joshua Newodowski. Nicholas Powers. Jed Sharma. Iresh Thiramana. On crutches, Thomas Trivett. Benjamin Tymonson. Milan Wickramaricci. Carl Wilson. That concludes all the Engineering Dean Scholarships. Now for the Dean Scholarships for Health Science. Lauren Cullinan. For the Dean Scholarship Science, Eleanor Eddy. Ellie Lola. Professor Kidd, that concludes the presentation of the Dean's Scholarships this evening. I'd now like to invite Melissa Banks, the Director of Swinburne International, to present this evening's International Scholarship recipients.
Thank you, Andrew. Students from around the world are increasingly choosing Swinburne for the quality of its teaching and research programs, its locations and the opportunities it provides to to students. Swinburne International Scholarships require candidates to possess specific attributes ranging from academic excellence to leadership credentials and community engagement. The Way to Olympia Peak is a television competition in Vietnam which is sponsored by LG Electronics and Swinburne. The program aims to find the most intelligent high school students in the country. The competition runs for 12 months with hundreds of competitors who must answer questions on topics from poetry to physics and from history to philosophy. The competition culminates in a grand final, which has an audience of 20 million people. The champion wins a US $50,000 study living allowance from LG and a scholarship from Swinburne. Way to Olympia Peak champions are national celebrities and academically gifted and extraordinary ambassadors for Vietnam. All past champions have studied at Swinburne, with some going right through to PhD. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the 2014 winner, who has been awarded the Way to Olympia Peak Swinburne Scholarship, Tai Huang Dung. The next scholarship is a joint venture by Swinburne International and university faculties. The scholarship was developed to assist outstanding international scholars to continue their studies in research. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the 2014 Swinburne International Honours Scholarship recipient, An Vu Huynh. Professor Kidd, that concludes the presentation of the International Scholarship recipients this evening. I'd now like to invite Mr Andrew McFarland, Director Student Services, to present this evening's Commonwealth, Equity and Student Residential Scholarship recipients.
Swinburne's Commonwealth Scholarships are funded by the federal government and aim to improve access to higher education for Indigenous students through payments to assist with education costs. Professor Kidd, I have the honour to present to you the recipient of the 2014 Indigenous Commonwealth Education Cost Scholarships, Che Domik. Swinburne Equity Scholarships are awarded to encourage and support undergraduate students whose background or geographical location might impede their ability to study. Each scholarship is valued at $3,000 to provide assistance with study costs. Professor Kidd, I've got the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the 2014 Equity Scholarships. Georgia Batson. Jake Bellman. Matthew Bridges. Lucas Casey. Amelia Cassidy. Benjamin Kudars. Oliver Dunn. Lachlan Jago. Dina Mitchell. Mohammed Mossini. William Niven. Amber Pynchon. I would now like to present this evening's Swinburne Residential Scholarships. A range of scholarships are offered to students who reside in Swinburne residences. There are two categories of scholarships: the Swinburne Resident Advisor Scholarships and the Swinburne Residential Scholarships. The Resident Advisor Scholarships provide financial assistance to senior residents who take up leadership roles in on-campus accommodation. Recipients of the scholarships facilitate the integration of new residents into the community, support them through their transition into university and academic life, and provide leadership and positive role modelling to all residents in the community, significant and important roles. Professor Kidd, I've got the honour to present to you the students who have been awarded the Resident Advisor Scholarships. For the College Resident Advisor Scholarship, which is valued at $5,500 per semester, Joshua Stafford. Nathan Hill. For the Senior Resident Advisor, a scholarship valued at $3,500 per semester, Marcus Doherty. The Swinburne Residential Scholarship is valued at $1,000 per semester. It is offered primarily on the basis of academic merit, with leadership and community services taken into account. It is designed to assist students to meet the costs of living on campus. Professor Kidd, I've got the honour to present to you the students who've been awarded the Swinburne Residential Scholarships. Michaelie Bates. Isabella Close. Laura Lee. Sarah McPherson. Lucas Morgan. And finally, Professor Kidd, I've got the honour to present a scholarship in design, Vice-Chancellor Scholarship for Design. It's a letter rival, Connor O'Brien. Come on, Connor. Professor Kidd, that concludes the presentation of the Commonwealth Equity and Swinburne Residential Scholarships recipients this evening.
Right, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Professor Kidd. And good sharing, everybody. That was quite excellent from everyone out there. I'd now like to invite Ms. Marley Lopez-Hope, the recipient of the 2012 George Alexander Foundation Scholarship, to provide a student's perspective of being a scholarship recipient. Ms. Marley.
You'll have to excuse me if I cough because I just got a cold the other day, so sorry in advance. Good evening, students, parents, academics, university officials, scholarship foundations, and you, the 2014 Swinburne Scholarship recipients. I would like to place a very special mention to Janet Hurst, the CEO of the George Alexander Foundation, who is not able to be with us today due to prior commitments. My name is Marley Lopez-Hope, and I am a second-year Swinburne undergraduate studying a degree in film and television production. I am also a recipient of the Leadership Scholarship gifted to me by the George Alexander Foundation, and have been since I began my course in 2013. Since I was 7 years old, I have grown up in the rural area of northern New South Wales, near that very eccentric town known as Byron Bay. I spent my high school years at Trinity College in Lismore, a township that sits at the bottom of a mountain range formed by volcanoes millions of years ago. Life in a new city is incredibly exciting, but daunting and unpredictable at the same time. The stress of finding work, forming new social circles, and applying myself to study was a very real reality for me. My single-parent upbringing instilled in me a sense of determination in all that I do, and you will learn from this speech that life is not about being apprehensive. It is about using all the resources you have, no matter how minimal, to make your life worthwhile for you and those you come by. I would like to thank the George Alexander Foundation for not only supporting me, but also encouraging me to do what I am so passionate about doing, and that is giving back to the community and supporting environmental education and protection. So now that you know who I am, time to get into the more interesting things. At 2 years of age, I said to my mother, "Mum, I'm going to save all the animals in the world." While I certainly cannot fulfill my 2-year-old self's desires, this was certainly the beginning of a lifelong passion. As a George Alexander Scholar, I was chosen for my leadership potential and my dedication and commitment to community volunteering. Giving is one of the most self-fulfilling, empowering, yet non-essential things one can do. It is not essential because many can get through life without giving to others. It is not essential because this world we live in is built largely around the constructs of money and personal success. The idea of selflessly giving can be a difficult task. However, those who take a step back from their daily routine become a leader that we greatly need in this world, and a leader that others come to admire and learn from. Some of my most colourful experiences as a child were the times my mother and I spent rescuing native animals up in northern New South Wales. These are not glamorous stories, but what they taught me was the gift of giving, that incredible joy that comes from saving another creature's life, and the very real reality that human beings are intrinsically connected to the world around us. This passion for making my life somewhat meaningful by working toward being a leader in conservation, animal protection, and animal rights has helped me get to where I currently am today, standing in this hall, talking to people who I consider far more inspiring than myself. Growing up in rural New South Wales, I was always inspired by the creative industry and working outdoors. After leaving the 3 part-time jobs I had whilst in high school, I spent 1 year travelling solo at 19 years old in Europe and Africa. After this incredible adventure, I moved to Melbourne to learn how I could become a successful wildlife documentary filmmaker at Swinburne University. My reason for studying is not the reward of receiving a degree, but more so the gift of knowledge. When a person does not understand something, they fear it. But education breaks this cycle and enables people to be empowered, not by money or material possessions, but through knowledge and critical thinking. More recently, however, in January this year, I was selected from over 2,000 applicants from 52 countries around the world to travel with National Geographic photographer Jason Edwards and Air New Zealand to Antarctica to document the work that Kiwi environmental scientists are doing in Antarctica and on the Ross Ice Shelf. I was selected for my communication, leadership, and filmmaking skills, and also my connection to the George Alexander Foundation, as well as my passion for protecting the environment and my vision to become an active leader in environmental conservation, action, and protection. It was a whirlwind experience, as I'm sure you could imagine. To live in Antarctica for 2 weeks, being surrounded by 80,000 Adelie penguins and conducting ice core drilling on the frozen Ross Sea in 24 hours of daylight. But this was no holiday. This was 2 weeks of 14-hour days working in bitter cold to get the message out to the rest of the world about the realities of climate change and the impact it has on one of the most remote ecosystems in the world. Whilst in Antarctica, I spent a lot of time meeting the 80-strong New Zealand scientists and tradesmen at Scott Base. Other than the science and important messages about climate change, if I could bring back anything from my time in Antarctica, it would be the incredible sense of community that exists at Scott Base. Just as Swinburne has this sense of community, I have never felt more at home than when I was as far away from home as I possibly could be in Antarctica. I certainly hope that by standing here today, I am positively contributing to what scientists have been eager to say to large crowds for decades. It saddens me that scientists are frequently having their research and findings denied. This is why my volunteer work down in Antarctica was so incredibly important to me. I am determined to support the people who dedicate their entire life to unbiased research for the betterment of the environment and the animals that call this place home. I think many of us doubt our ability to have our voices heard or to be heard. It is not until we begin to open our mouths in truth that we realize there are millions of people all around the world searching for a new and inspiring voice, an individual that they can trust and one who is selfless and determined. This is why you, as Swinburne Scholarship recipients, have such an important role, not only in your own degrees and courses, but in the entire Swinburne and wider community. The impact every single human being has on the planet is incredible. Jane Goodall, a leading conservationist and chimpanzee specialist, states, "You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you. What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference it is that you want to make." The pollution we create in Australia impacts the penguins tottering about on the shores of Ross Island in Antarctica. The student who gives a sandwich to a homeless person on the streets in Melbourne is giving this person not just nutrition, but a symbol of hope. There is so much greed and injustice in the world that people like you and me are so very much needed to make this earth a better place for all. Last year, I had the honour of meeting Sir David Attenborough, a man whom I have looked up to since the moment I could walk and talk. Attenborough has dedicated his entire life to educating and inspiring people to love and care for the natural world. Yet, he is no denier of the fact that the world is very much overpopulated with humans. Yet, for this reason, it is so important for us to make our life worthwhile and to give rather than take. The moment you doubt your ability to be a leader and an inspiration for someone else, remember this: Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, Jane Goodall, David Attenborough, Rosa Parks, and even George Alexander are exactly the same as you and me. The only difference in life is those that think of doing and those that actually get out there, follow their heart and their dreams, and do it. Having accepted your Swinburne Scholarship, you are now on a path of success, and a path that will impact every single human, animal, place, and institution that you meet and come by. Consider your scholarship not a reward for the amount of hours you spent at your desk studying, or the number of coffees you had to drink not to fall asleep in class, but consider it a key into an incredible world. The world of university will not spoon-feed you. It will not give you an A+ because it feels sorry for you. The world of university is like a blank canvas, and it isn't until you begin to create your own reality that university becomes a sea of limitless possibilities. For the new George Alexander Scholarship recipients, the gift of receiving the Leadership Scholarship is not just money in the bank. It is not just a title. You have been selected because already you have inspired those that have selected you. You have touched the hearts of people around you. This message goes out to all Swinburne Scholarship recipients of 2014. You have been rewarded for your vision, dedication, commitment, and personal qualities that make you uniquely you. So I would like to forward my appreciation to you, the people who day in and day out have inspired me to become a selfless, passionate, and determined individual. Because together, we all can overcome adversity and can rise to the task of making this world a better place for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Marley. That was fantastic. I love those comments, and hopefully we'll see you on the National Geographic channel. Eh? Now, everybody, that concludes the official proceedings tonight. Just in closing, I'd like to once again thank all the donors here tonight. Tonight could not happen without the donors, so thank you very much. And if there's any donors out there on the floor, just come and see us a little bit later on and we'll see what we can do. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Can I just close in congratulating all the students who've been awarded a scholarship this evening. And I now invite you all to join us for light refreshments in the foyer behind us. So thank you, everybody.
I said,